This is a supine series using our medium stability ball again. We're going to start with it in the center of our back, a little bit just below our shoulder blades. Finding the perfect spot can be quite challenging, and I want to tell you what that exact perfect spot is, but it varies a little bit from body to body. So you just want to find that place where you feel like you can keep your pelvis, sort of the bottom part of your pelvis, your tailbone even pressing into the mat, and then you can comfortably lay over the ball. Now I say comfortably, it is a pretty intense stretch for lots of people, so moderately comfortable is probably more accurate. You're gonna allow your chest to open and see if you can get to a point where you can sort of relax on the ball. You don't wanna feel like it's creating a really big arch in your lower back. If that's the case, it's probably a little low and you wanna move the ball a little higher on your body. It definitely should feel like it's supporting the weight of your upper back, and you should feel like your neck is free just to relax into your hands, and you're certainly holding the weight of your head in your hands. From here, we'll start with diaphragmatic breaths, taking a nice big breath into your rib cage. Really filling up your diaphragm and your rib cages maximally, and then just letting it go. And as you let it go, just allow your body to melt down over the ball. We're staying here for 3 whole breaths, noticing with each exhalation that your body is melting deeper into this spinal extension. It's called this back bend. To begin to mobilize, we're going to wrap the elbows in slightly and actively lift the elbows as if we're sending them up and overhead. You're going to allow yourself to look back behind you, and this is going to cause you to create an even greater back bend. For some people, it might even mean their head touches the floor. You're going to take an inhale in this position. Then initiate by lengthening through the back of the neck and dropping the ribs down as you're going to curl up and look up and over the knees. So this is a flexing through the spine. Hold for a breath. Then lengthening and laying all the way back down over the ball. At the end of the range, you're becoming active again as you look back behind you and lift your elbows to the wall overhead. Take a breath. And drop the chin and flex. Inhale. Exhale to lengthen. Inhale to stay. Exhale to flex. You're then just going to lengthen through the spine until it feels like it's sort of straight and you're pressing your pelvis into the floor. And seeing if you can press your pelvis down enough, brace through your abdominals to the point where you almost lift off the ball. It looks like you're not doing anything, but you're actually working quite hard to stabilize through your torso here. From there, you're gonna hold this position, take an inhale to prepare, slide your right leg down the floor. On the exhale, you're gonna drop your ribs, lift your right leg and squeeze it towards you, draw it towards you as you stay flexed up. As you lower it down, you're gonna lengthen through your body, but try not to fully rest on the ball. On the exhale, slide the ribs down and lift that leg up towards you again. Inhale to lengthen and lower it down. Exhale to flex, squeeze your thigh, draw that leg towards you. Inhale to lengthen. You're then going to bend that knee and come into a flex position. Open the knee up and out to the side, trying to stay square and stable on the ball. You're going to slide that leg down the floor, keeping it laterally rotated. So keeping the thigh spiraled out to the side until the leg is completely straight. Then bring it back through into a neutral or parallel position, and then bring it back up into a bent knee. So you're going to open it out to the side, straighten the leg and keep it laterally rotated. Spiral it through parallel, and then bring it back into a bent knee. One more time. Inhale to open and slide it down. Exhale to spiral through parallel and bend the knee. Let's take a break and lengthen up and over the ball, stretching out through the abdominals and drawing the ribs up. Take a nice big breath. Exhale, you're gonna come back into that flat back hover position again, sliding your left leg down the floor. Take an inhale. Exhale, draw that left leg up as you slide the ribs down and flex. Being careful not to pull on your head with your hands. Your hands are really just there supporting the weight of the head, but not pulling on the head at all. Flex up, Squeeze that left leg towards you, really lengthening through the back of the leg by keeping it nice and straight. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, flex, drawing that top leg towards you. One more time. You're gonna flex, pull that left knee up. Lower it down as you lengthen through your body. Slide that leg into a bent knee position as you curl back up into the flexed position. Open the left knee out to the side. Slide it down the mat. Keep it laterally rotated until it's fully straight. Spiral it through neutral or parallel and bring it back towards you again. You open the knee without letting this other knee open out to the side. You'll really want to counterbalance that leg moving. One more time, open the knee. Slide the leg to straight, bring it through neutral, and rest, laying back down over the bowl. Taking a nice big breath into your abdominals. Stretching into extension. From here, you're just gonna curl on up, lift yourself up onto your elbows, remove your bowl, come to laying down, place it between your ankles as you lay down on the floor. Haven't quite finished with the abdominals yet. We're gonna work more in a neutral position again. Placing your hands down by your side, stretching your fingertips to the end of the mat. Taking an inhale to prepare. On the exhale, you're gonna squeeze your bowl, brace through your abdominals, press your pelvis into the floor, and float your legs up to tabletop. From here, you're gonna inhale to prepare. Exhale to squeeze into the bowl and just holding the squeeze. Again, it's one of those exercises that it looks like you're not really doing that much, but it's a lot of work when you're the person actually doing it. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, squeezing that bowl nice and firmly. Notice how when you activate into the bowl and you're using your inner thighs, it actually changes the intensity through the abdominals as well. We call this midline stability, the ability to really stay connected through the center of our body. It really is directed from our core, helps us with overall stability. Inhale to relax. One more time, squeezing into the bowl and holding it for 3, for 2, for 1, and release the tension. I'm just gonna grab a hold of the orange bowl, place it in the backs of the ankles as I flex my feet, as I come into a laterally rotated position. My knees are nice and wide. We call this the diamond shape through the legs. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to squeeze into the bowl. Now, when I squeeze into the bowl through the backs of my ankles, I'm also actively trying to open my knees. So I'm using my hip muscles to do that, and relax. Exhale, squeeze into the bowl and hold the position for 3, for 2, for 1, and relax. 2 more times. Squeeze into that bowl. Try and open your knees wider for 2, for 1, and relax. 1 more time. Squeeze that bowl. Open the knees for 3, for 2, for 1. Relax, spiral back to parallel and point through the ankles. Just need to adjust the position again. We're gonna squeeze into the bowl, brace through our abdominals, and send our legs out onto a diagonal. Now only go as low through your legs as you can maintain good connection through your pelvis and the floor, trying not to let your lower back pull into an arch. We'll do that 4 times. You're gonna squeeze the bowl and press away and hold for 2, for 1, and pull it back in. Take a breath, squeeze and press for 2, for 1, and release. 1 more time, squeeze and press for 2, for 1, and we're gonna repeat that same sequence in laterally rotated. So flex the feet, open the knees, stay for a breath, brace and press out and squeeze into the bowl for 2, for 1, and pull it back in. Squeeze and press for 2, for 1, and draw it back in. 2 to go. Squeeze and press for 2, for 1, and pull it back in. Take 1 more breath. And press for 2, for 1, and draw it back in. Spiral back to parallel. And take a break. This is going to be a 10-minute mat Pilates series. Just going to start by laying down on mat Pilates. My awesome model. Yeah, you don't have much room at the head of the mat there. Just
Okay.
yeah, go for it. Excellent. Okay, So we're going to begin just with finding that neutral tabletop leg. So I want you to find a neutral pelvis first. Make sure you put your top hand brace, right? And I want you to push your pelvis into the mat a little bit. So take a nice big breath, press your pelvis into the mat, and feel that engagement. Yeah, and then lift your legs up to tabletop. Very good. Okay, making sure that the knees are stacked directly over the hips. So you're going to pull them in right there. It's perfect. Okay, and then you're just going to begin with a toe tap to the floor. So just try to keep relaxation in your upper body as you just tap your right foot down to the floor and allow it to return back to the start position, all the while not allowing this left knee to go anywhere. Yeah, you can also do sides, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, as long as you do 5 on either side, alternating back and forth. Make sure you're breathing and just continue to think about keeping your shoulders sort of a bit more relaxed, I think. Not as much activity maybe through the arms. We're just going to move to the out grip, just maintaining this tabletop leg. So you're going to inhale to lengthen through the back of the neck, sliding the navel neck off the floor, and exhale to flex up. Stretching the arms down the mat. You do have the hands just hover off the floor. Again, you need to pull the knees in a little bit more. You're taking inhale to stay, and exhale to articulate back down onto the mat. So you're rolling down, coming all the way to laying down and resting your arms down on the mat as well. Good. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, think dropping the chin slightly, start to articulate up through the spine, sliding the ribs down towards your hips, really nice. Take an inhale to stay, and exhale to articulate back down, and resting, take a breath, just do one more, drop the chin, articulate, sliding the ribs down, really nice. Again, just pull your knees in a little bit there, just ever so slightly drifting away, right? Inhale to stay, and then exhale to articulate back down, and then with control, releasing one foot at a time back down. And then looking at the funny, playing the back, going from supine to prone, so we're looking up to looking down. So we're laying tummy down, hands down by your sides. So we're going to go for breaststroke prep 2 here. You're going to turn your palms to face your thighs, looking straight down at the floor with the noses. So the straight down, the nose is hovering about an inch from the floor. We're going to inhale to prepare. On the exhale, you're going to look down the horizon of the floor and start to peel up through your upper back, so extending through the upper back. Lifting the arms in the air, just hovering beside the hips. Keeping control of the pelvis, so not allowing the lower back to arch. You're going to stay here for inhalation. And then exhale, slowly articulate back down into the stop position. Lengthening through the back of the neck, moving straight down. I love it. Good. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, you're going to look down the horizon of the floor, start to lift your chest. Reaching your hands down towards the hips. That more activity that you channel down through the arms, you really feel like you're getting a stronger activity through the middle of your back. Inhale to stay, and exhale to lengthen back out, looking down to the floor. Let's just go one more here. Inhale. Exhale, slide the shoulder blades down as you reach down towards the feet, through your upper back, hold for an inhalation. Really nice. And exhale, lengthen. Nice. Okay, so you're just going to sweep your hands around, stack them one on top of the other, bring them underneath the forehead. You're going to open your feet to mat width apart, bending the knees, and bringing your heels together. Now you can go flat with the feet together with pointer toe or just the heels together. This is heel squeeze prone. You want to make sure you keep a little bit of a tucked pelvis, okay? And then a 90-degree bend in the knee here. Great. Okay, so it's an inhale to prepare. On the exhale, you're going to squeeze the buttocks, press your pelvis into the floor. You might be able to feel your pubic bone press into the mat. And then see if you can lift your feet up and try and get your thighs off the floor. We're going to hold it for just a little bit longer and then go ahead and lower the thighs back down to the floor. This is really hard. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the heels together. Try and lift the thighs from the floor. Sometimes the thighs are just so tight, it's just hard to get the hips to open up in this way. And go ahead and relax. I'm going to make you do 2 more, Laura. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the heels, and lift. So you can keep the knees open. They're just starting to come together. So using those lateral hip rotators to fire those knees nice and wide. One last one. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze the heels, squeeze your buttocks, open the knees, squeeze and lift. And rest. That's enough of that nonsense. Okay, go ahead and push yourself back into a quick shell. I love it. And we're going to go back to laying down on our backs. We're going to continue on with that supine work and more of the quintessential abdominal series. We're going to do the 100. We have to do the short version. But you know, we're going to do a modified version of the 100.
Okay.
So we're going to do inhales with our knees in tabletop, legs in tabletop, and we'll do our exhales with the legs on the diagonal.
Okay.
So classic setup for the 100, you're going to be laying down on your back. We always get into the 100 position in a really classical way to be very prepared. So you're going to take an inhale, exhale, pop hand brace, press your pelvis into the mat with one leg at a time up into tabletop. All right, legs together, inner thighs are squeezing. Inhale, lengthen through the back of the neck, and then exhale, flex up. We're going to keep our legs in tabletop for now, lifting the hands to hover on the floor. And we're inhaling 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. On the exhale, shooting the legs off to the diagonal, squeezing the inner thighs for 2 and 4 and 10. Bring it back to tabletop, squeezing the inner thighs for 2 and 4 and 5. And exhale, 2 and 3 and 4 and 20. Back into tabletop. 3 and 4 and 5 and 7 away and squeezing inner thighs again for 30. Inhale, 2 and 4 and 5 and 7 away. We're squeezing those inner thighs to increase the abdominal stability. Yes, you continue while you're following the count really beautifully. And 4, that's 60. Inhale, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and exhale, 2 and 4 and 70. Inhale, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and exhale, 2 and 4 and 80. Not allowing the body to rock forward as you shoot those legs away. 90, inhale, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and exhale, 2 and 4 and 100. We're going to bend your legs in tabletop, don't collapse, stay for one last inhalation, and then articulate down through your upper body. And you can get to release your legs in tabletop. Yeah, we're going to go straight into slow double leg stretch. Okay, so we're going to inhale to prepare, exhale to flex back up into our ab position. We're going to place the hands either side of one knee. And send the opposite, yeah, go ahead, you want to do it. Send the opposite leg away. Take a breath, and then exhale, switch. Take an inhale, exhale, switch. We're going to do it quite slow, yeah. Exhale, switch, and only lower that leg that you're extending as far down as you feel like you can control your pelvis with your abdominals. So you're not wanting to feel like you're having to brace through your lower back here. You're wanting to keep a bit of a tucked pelvis. As you continue on with this exercise. Let's just do one more other side. It's supposed to be 5. I think that's supposed to be 5. Finish with the legs at tabletop. Hold for one last inhalation. And then release your upper body down. Go ahead and release the feet one at a time down to the floor. Let's just open the feet hip width apart. Hands down by your sides and do just 5 basic hip lifts. Just to open up through the front of the hip after we've been closing them a little bit. So you want to make sure your feet are straight, only hip width apart. We're not articulating. We're just going to think squeeze the glutes, which feels like squeezing your buttocks around your sitting bones. Find that first, and then lift up through the hips. So you're going to drag the hips up. Love it. And at the top, you are allowed to tuck the pelvis a little bit, just to help to open up through a long line through the front of the hips. But when you lower back down, link with your tailbone, make sure you're landing with a nice neutral pelvis. You got it, you did that really nicely. And you're gonna do 4 more of those, okay? The beautiful thing that Lori's doing here is not pushing through her ribs on the up phase. So sometimes the tendency is to really want to sort of throw your ribs forward to help you feel that sense of lift a little bit more. But we're really wanting the lift to come from the hip so that we're getting the opening through the front of the hip, which is really mostly the essence of the exercise. And that is 5, I think. I'm going to get you to just bring one knee in, grab a hold of that knee, and use that to rock yourself up. And you can take as many times as you'd like to rock. You did it on 1, but if I take 5, and that was perfect, I love it. You're going to flip back onto your tummy for me. And we're going to move into swan here. Okay, so we're going to break swan down a little bit. We're going to make sure we just do the upper body first, and we're going to add in the legs afterwards. So we're going to open the legs up nice and wide. So in swan, we're thinking of our feet being mat width apart and laterally rotated. So the thighs are turned out and the knees look like they're facing out to the side. Hands are going to be underneath the shoulders, but a little bit out in front of you, otherwise it's hard to come up all the way. Beautiful. Setting the shoulder blades down to begin. You're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, keeping the pelvis tucked. You're going to press up into an upright position. So coming all the way up until your arms are straight. Yes, it's very stretchy. Now, if you need to move your arms to spine, yeah, okay. Making sure that your ribs are tucked in and you're very lifted and your glutes should be engaged to support the lower back while you're doing this. Stay for an inhale, and then slowly lower all the way back down into the stop position. Very nice, it's good. I'm just going to get you to bring your hands in a little narrower and allow your elbows to come in a bit tighter to your body.
Okay.
Yes, even though they're going to be out in front of you, they're just a little bit in. And drop your shoulder blades down. Okay, inhale to prepare. Exhale, pressing up. Very nice, good. Keep the shoulders down. Good, inhale to stay. And exhale to lower back down. Good, one more time. Inhale. Exhale, push up, looking straight ahead. It's like the mat grows 3 inches longer every time you push on it. Good. And then lower back down. Okay, let's add in the legs. So we're going to inhale to prepare. On the exhale, we're going to look over the horizon of the floor, lift your breastbone as you lift up into the upper back extended position. Okay, now really make sure you're thinking of squeezing your glutes here. As soon as you start to bend the elbows to lower down, I'm going to start initiating the lift in the legs. Okay, so you're going to bend the elbows, start lowering, squeeze your buttocks, and start to lift your legs. Good. Now notice that you want to bend your knees a little bit. Think of stretching your legs out nice and long. Don't worry about how high the legs are getting, but make sure they're being lifted from your hips. Hold them in the air. Good. Take a breath, and then they can slowly peel down as your upper body comes up. So it's this, you've created this global extension through your body. So it's almost like you're rocking forward and back, or it looks like you're rocking forward and back, but actually you're holding this beautifully long line extended position. Hold for a breath. Lift yourself back up your own body, good, shoulders press down, inhale to stay, exhale, squeeze the glutes, start to lift the legs and peel on down. Beautiful, hold for a breath, exhale, lift up, and then keep the legs down, stay for one last breath, lower your upper body down, bring your legs into parallel, and when you're ready, you're going to push yourself back into a shallow. Just to release through the back, typically when we do more extreme extended positions, we'll often push back into a shallow after doing them just to release through the lower back. Did a great job. This is a glute series, so we're really going to focus on firing through the primary muscles of the hip, the big motor muscles of the glutes. You're going to notice that as your glutes start to fatigue through this series, you're going to feel a deeper and deeper burn as it progresses. So as you're fatiguing, your body is actually going to recruit more and more muscle fibers to do the tasks that you're asking it to do. And the sensation you're going to get is just more mind-body connection with more and more glute muscle fibers, which makes you feel that sort of deeper, more intense burn. The benefit of this is that your brain starts to think about recruiting more glutes. Generally on a regular basis, there's typically a muscle that has difficulty firing because of all the sitting that we might do. They end up in this lengthened, stretched out position, and so they can be hard for us to fire. But with practice, we can increase the mind-body connection to get them to fire more regularly and more fully. Okay, that's the goal. We're going to begin laying down. You're going to grab hold of the bowl and place it in between the knees. We're doing basic bridge lifts to begin. We're going to start with our hands up over our chest fasadas. Walk the feet so they're already hip width apart, and take a good squeeze of the bowl. You're going to keep squeezing that bowl as you activate through the glutes and just lift up into a nice high bridge position. Holding here and squeezing the bowl for 3, for 2, for 1. As you release, you can release the tension on the bowl. Then at the bottom, you're going to squeeze your glutes, squeeze the bowl, and thrust and lift at the top. You're really trying to tuck your pelvis and really think about squeezing your buttocks, squeezing the bowl, then pressing the feet into the floor for active posture or additional posterior chain activation. And release back down. So squeeze, squeeze, thrust, push into the floor and hold for 3, for 2, for 1, and release 2 more. Squeeze, squeeze, and thrust. For 3, for 2, for 1, and release. Squeeze, squeeze, and thrust. For 3, for 2, for 1, and release. You're going to let the knees open, let the bowl drop down, grab it. You're going to place your feet up on the bowl and then turn them into a butterfly position or into a butterfly stretch so the soles of the feet are together. From here, we're in this laterally rotated position, which actually is a much more active place for your glutes to recruit. So you should feel you get more felt sense of your hips activating in this position. You're going to press into the bowl, use that push into the bowl to open the knees, which is going to create this groin and a thigh stretch. Maintaining that, so not allowing the knees to come together, you're going to lift your hips off the floor. Really try and keep your knees actively pulling down to the floor as you're lifting your hips up, which is going to increase your hip connection, and then release back down. If you pay attention to this, how this feels in your hips in this position, you're going to feel like you're recruiting slightly different areas of the hips. So just something to be mindful of, like what are the areas of the hips that engage? Should feel like a little higher, a little outer, and a little deeper in the hip joint is what it should feel like. One last one, lift and hold. 3, for 2, for 1, and releasing down. Bringing the legs together, keeping one foot on top of the bowl, but freeing the other leg. You're then going to think of just lifting through the hips back into the bridge position. Notice now that predominantly you're lifting primarily through the non-bowl side. Okay, so it's like almost like doing a single leg bridge. Release back down in a neutral position. Lift and squeeze at the top, and release. If you're firing through one hip, it means that all of your mental faculties are thinking about recruiting just one side of the body, which is easier for them actually. It's a harder exercise, but it's easier for your brain to think about just one side of the body firing. So you actually do get much more muscle fiber recruitment when you do that, so it's a good thing to practice. So you're gonna lift and hold, send the leg that's on the ball out to straight, while maintaining the height of the hips, pull it back in and release. So we're gonna thrust and press, pull back in and release. Thrust and press, pull back in and release. Thrust, press, pull back in and release. Switching sides. You're gonna walk your feet over the bowl, feet down on the floor. Here we go. So we're just gonna go thrusting to begin. Really thinking about, again, mind-body connection, getting that one leg to fire. Really think about pushing down into the floor to get the hips up as high as you can. For 2, and for 1, lift and hold it here now. Setting your bowl leg out to straight and pulling it back in. It should feel like it's a very light tension on the bowl. You're using it as sort of a tactile guide, but you're not sort of using it to hold yourself up. You're doing that all through this one supporting side. Squeezing and lower back down. Okay, from here you're gonna grab hold of the bowl and you're gonna roll into your tummy. You're gonna do glute recruitment from facing down on the floor. So beginning with heel squeeze prone, you're gonna open your legs up to quite wide so your knees are almost at the width of the mat. You're then gonna bend the knees and turn your feet so they're close together. So you have this sort of frog position. And then if you can, you're gonna reach around and place the ball between either your feet or your ankles. Laying your upper body down on the floor. You're just going to think about squeezing the ball to begin. So you want to think, push your pelvis into the mat, and then squeeze the ball. And notice you're getting both hip and back of thigh recruitment as you do this squeezing exercise. And rest. So you're going to press your pelvis into the floor. You might feel your pubic bone pressing into the floor. Squeeze into the ball and hold for 3, for 2, for 1, and rest. Press your pelvis down. Open the knees, think of actively opening the knees as you're squeezing the ball for 2, for 1, and rest, trying to add hip extension now. So seeing if we can lift the thighs from the floor. Some people can't lift their thighs from the floor, but even intentioning the thighs to come up from the floor feels like you're doing a higher level exercise. So you're going to think, squeeze your pelvis into the mat, squeeze the ball, and then see if you can keep your pelvis pressing into the floor. Keep the knees wide as you lift your thighs up from the floor, and inhale to release. Exhale, squeeze and lift, and inhale to release. You should be feeling this again sort of deep in your hip joint, as well as through these upper outer parts of the glutes. Two more. From there, we're just going to stretch our legs out to straight and push ourselves back into a shell, which has the effect of stretching our lower back and our hips. Take a breath. Slowly rolling on up. Okay, from here, we're going to come to standing, placing the ball between our knees. We're just going to do basic squats, squeezing the ball. So we're going to sit back into our chair squat position. Hold a good squeeze of the ball, then thrusting through the hips, and return to standing. Repeating 5 repetitions. What I really want you to focus on actually in this particular exercise is the top. So you're going to hug the ball, tuck your pelvis, and drive it forward so you fully extend through the hips at the top.
And that completes our hip activation series.